Guys, we can start now. So we are going to see how to configure some of the routers. Those two routers, right? Those two routers are going to use like OSPF. You can see our topology. Two routers, router 1 and router 2. Router 1 is connected to switch number 1, and router 2 is connected to switch number 2, and those two switches are connected. By looking at this table, the addressing table, you can see that from router 1, you are going to have two interfaces. There is a gigabit 0/0/1, and there is what we call the loopback. So there are two interfaces from router 1. And from router 2, we do have also two interfaces, right? You can see their IP addresses, right? And you can see the subnet mask. What you must do first, you have to rate the objectives, what they want you to achieve. From part 1, they want us to build the network and configure basic device settings. From part 2, we are going to configure and verify single area OSPF version 2 for basic operations. And part 3, we are going to optimize and verify the single areas OSPF version 2 configurations, right? From the background, you've been asked with configuring a small company's network using OSPF version 2, right? I cannot read whatever that is there, but the most important, the routers that we want, we are going to use 4221, and the catalysts, the switches, you are going to use the 2960. So let's start first with the topology, right? You go to packet tracer. The routers, they want the 4221. Let me check if I have one of them here. Because I cannot see the 42, I can take the 4321. You can take the 4321, right? Now you're gonna check again the addressing table. The switches must be the 2960, right? We go to switches. Now, by checking again our topology, you can see that from router 1, the cable will go from gigabit 0/0/1 to F0/5. (43 21). Okay, which port? It's 0/0/1. So 0/0/1. 0/5. I'm gonna check again the topology. Yeah, there it's 1 1. 1 there and 1 here. And there 0/5 gigabit 0. Okay. Okay. right? So are you there? Yes. Guys, you can see from the topology, right? There's what we call a loop back, right? From the router. There is one interface. But that interface, we call it what? Loop back, right? Let's first discuss about this loop back. What does it mean? Loop back. Okay, let's talk about the loop back, right? When we're talking about loop back, like interface, right? This interface, we call it a virtual interface or logical, right? So it's one of the interface that is not there physically from the router, but logically. You understand? So when you look at your topology, right? They said from router 1, you must have like a loop back 1. And that loop back 1, you have to assign it an IP address. But you as a specialist, you have to understand that loop back interface physically doesn't exist. It's a virtual interface or logical interface, right? And we're gonna use it, this loop back, we're gonna use it for, so we're gonna use it for what? For management. Right? So this type of address, we are going to use it for what? For management. Suppose like you have to access your router for managing your router, you can use the loopback, right? But what must come like into your mind, you have to know that this is a logical address. It's not like physical, right? Why am I putting it? Why am I creating a loopback and give it an IP address? Because that IP address will allow you to access the router for management, right? Any question? You have also to understand that this type of address doesn't go down. Right? The loopback address doesn't go down. So it's always active. Right, guys? Right? So suppose like you have your router, right? All the physical ports, they are off. But you want to access your router for management, you can still access the loopback, right? So that's why we are giving it like an IP address, because that type of interface cannot go down, right? So you're gonna still have access to your router, right? So and routers will use will use a loopback address? As a router ID. So for electing, like suppose you have your router, right? Your loopback address, this is the router ID. You understand? The router ID will be the loopback address, right? But to summarize, you have to understand this. I have my router. All my ports can be off. How am I going to access my router for management? I can still use what we call a loopback. That's why when you have your router, you have to configure a loopback address because it will allow you, when those physical ports are not working, you can still have access to your router by using that specific IP address, right? Any question concerning about this loopback address? No question? Okay, we can move like forward. What else they're asking us like to do? Two switches, one PC, Windows with a terminal emulation. Okay. They want us to have one PC, but where that PC, yeah, like two switches, one PC, like console cable to configure, right? So basically, it just means this. We're gonna add some PCs there that will allow us to access the device. Right? Right? Can we move? Yes. Now, we're gonna go back again to our documents, right? And remember, guys, by reading here, what they are saying, ensure that the routers and switches have been erased and have no startup configurations. If you are unsure, contact your instructor. So they want us to make sure that routers and switches have been erased and have no startup configurations, right? You remember when you switch on your switch or your router will come up with what? Some of the configurations, right? Those configurations, we call them what? Startup configurations, right? Now, they want us to delete those configurations that comes with the router, right? So when you purchase a new router or a new switch, you have to erase those configurations that are there already. Maybe somebody put it already some code. When you're gonna install it at home, and you can like access your device from home. Most of the time, when you purchase a Cisco router or switches, not only the Cisco one, like all the devices, most of the time you have to erase the configurations that you found, especially the startup configurations. But don't do it like those switches are working already. You say, no, I'm going to erase. No, you are doing it from the beginning, right? So we have to go to switches and routers. We are going to erase the configurations that are already there. And we have to reload the default ones, right? So what we're going to do, let me first close my tool here. So what we're going to do, I will go to the first router, right? So we are going to delete the startup configurations. From today, when you have a switch, when you have a router, you have to start first by deleting the previous configurations. The previous configurations, we call those configurations startup. So you go to your PC, you go to your terminal, all right? But you must be in privilege mode, right? Because they are saying you have to erase. That command will start with erase, right? When you don't know what's gonna come next, you have to press what? Question mark. But the command is erase space startup config. But because we wanna test, question mark first, right? By pressing the question mark, you will see that they are saying what? This is what you have to add, like after erase. Now you're gonna add ST. When you press tab, tab will continue, right? There's no need for you to type like everything. Just ST tab. Erase startup config, right? And you press enter. They're gonna ask you, do you want really to remove like all your configuration files? Yes, you confirm, right? Right? Now, when you are done, you have to reload, right? You're gonna type what? Reload. And you press what? They will ask you, do you want to proceed? Yes, again. Your router will do what? Will reload, right? And the boot up like process will start again. And remember, like from here, your operating system is this one. You see, huh? Okay, let me just say, nope. Right? This is how to erase, and this is how to do what? To reload. When you are done, you can go to your switch. So I'm gonna remove my cable from here. So I'm gonna plug it from the switch. So, and I'm gonna access again the switch, go to my terminal. Enable, erase tab, erase startup. You press enter, yes, and you're gonna reload again. And your switch, this message shows how this operating system will be loaded. Yes, I'm done with that switch. We can go to that other switch. My own cable, I can move it again there. Go to console again. What's happened? Aibo. Yeah, erase ST startup. Yes, you reload again. Right? You see, like it's showing you flash and the name of the operating system, huh? Or the iOS. Okay, we are done. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go to this one also, desktop terminal. No, like erase, startup, yes. And we are going to reload, right? Every time when you have a lab, make sure that you start by erasing the previous configurations, but not in a production environment, right? Yes. Okay, guys, we are done. Did you erase and reload all those routers and switches? Yes? Hey, what happened? Eh? Hey, this lab is very long. Yeah, if I'm going slowly, we can go like up to 4. There are so many questions. Yeah, that's why I have to see how it looks like. So many questions. See, you see? Now we're gonna go to step number 1. So step number 1 was what? Cable the networks as shown in the topology. We are done with that one, right? We are done with step number 1. Now we're gonna move to what? Step number 2, right? Guys, step number 2 is what? Configure basic settings from each router, right? They want you to configure basic settings from each router, right? From A, what they want you to do? Assign a device name to each router, right? For each router, we are going to give it a name. Guys, for each router, we are going to give it a name, right? This is A. Okay. So we're gonna go to terminal, enable conft, like host name, Saba R1. You can give your own name, the name that you want. All right. Your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend's name. But you have to remember that, like in cybersecurity, don't use names, your boyfriend's names, your husband, your kids, your birthday, dates. All those things are not allowed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when I know you, I can say Nokotula. So I'm gonna add your date of birth. I'm trying your names. Yeah. Okay, router 1 changed. We can go to router 2. We do the same. But here, so I can say what host name, Saba R2, right? Remember that, guys, you can check, right? You must have the habit when you configure something and you know how to check what you configured. Do show what? Show run, right? Do show run. when you press enter, what did you see here? You can see the name of the router, right? And you press enter. So most of the time, when you configure something, as I said, always check. Right? Now, question number 2, guys. So number A, we are done. Now we're gonna move to B. Disable DNS lookup to prevent the router from attempting to translate incorrectly what entered command as stuff they were host names. Right? What does it mean, guys? DNS lookup. This part, they want you to disable DNS lookup. What does it mean? You know, sometimes when you are configuring routers, right? Or switches, when you make a mistake, you are typing a command wrongly. Sometimes you're gonna see that your switch or your router will stuck, right? Now to avoid that, you have to disable the DNS lookup by saying no IP domain lookup. You remember that command, right? So you go to every router, like my router number 1. So you're gonna say no IP. From here, guys, when you don't know what to do, remember always the question mark is there. Question mark, but they're gonna be a lot. But you're gonna see here a domain lookup. When you go up, it's here. You see? So no IP domain lookup. You press what entered, right? So now you are sure, like, even if I make a mistake, my router will never be stuck, right? Let's go to router number 2. We're gonna do the same thing. We have to disable the DNS lookup. No IP domain lookup, right? Yes. Because we are done now, those who are writing, please, you can put those comments like down here. You must put your comment. Because next time you aren't gonna ask yourself, hey, which comment again to disable the DNS, right? No. You are answering the questions that are there. You wanna add your own question. We are just following the questions already there. Yeah. Now we're gonna move to what? C. Assign class as the privileged encrypted password, right? We want to give a password to the privilege mode so that nobody will access the privilege mode, but that password must be encrypted. You understand? The password must be encrypted. So what does it mean? I can access your router by saying show run, right? I will see your configurations. I can see your password, the way your password was saved, right? But if you encrypt it, I can access your router. I will see a password, but this is the encrypted one. It's not the true one, right? Now, that password will be what? Will be class. Now you're gonna go to your router, like to every router, right? We go to this router. We go again to terminal. Now we're gonna say the command is enable secret, right? But if you forgot again, guys, you can use the question mark. So enable secret what? Class. So this is the password. Right? So for somebody to access my privilege mode, you remember when you're gonna type like enable, you won't gonna move to privilege mode. They will ask you the password. So what is the password? It's class. Right? When you are done, you press enter. You must always have the habit of checking. Let's check it. Do show run. Right? What did you see here? See how class became now. You see how hard it is. So when somebody will go to your database, like to your router, show run, now you're gonna say, oh, this is the password. Why? Because the password is encrypted. But yourself, you know that hey, the password is class. Right? But I don't say that you must always put class. You can put your own password. Because we are following this document, that way we are keeping class. You can put your own password there. Right? But per our exercise, we have to keep class. Jonathan, you can see how that password is now. So when somebody will say show run from your router, you will see this one. Right? So you have to remember that enable password is different and enable secret. You remember from the login, enable password, that password will never be encrypted. But enable secret, your password will be encrypted. Right? Now, we're gonna do the same. We can go also to router 2. We are going to do the same things. Enable secrets, class again. But remember that class can change. You can put your own thing there, right? Do show run. You can see how your password is encrypted. See it, it's this one, right? Yeah. Right? So we are done with question C, right? If there are some marks there, so you got some points already. You remember when you go for your international examinations, right? There are gonna be so many questions. Whatever that you're answering like correctly, you get some marks. Right? Now, we're gonna move to which question? D. Assign Cisco as the console password and enable login, right? So you know that it's easy. Line console 0 password. We can keep like Cisco, right? Login. Remember that login, it's for asking the pop-up message to appear. Right? Line space console space 0 password Cisco. And you're gonna say login. So we are here from assign like Cisco, right? If you wanna take your tea, you can go, and because we won't gonna finish now, right? We're gonna go forever. Okay, when you are done, it's always a check, do show run, right? You can see your host name. You can see your enabled secrets. And when you go down, there is no IP domain lookup that was configured, right? You can see the line console is configured, and you can see the password. You see here, because we used like the password. So your password like is in clear text, right? Because we never used the enable one. When you are done with router 1, we can go to router 2. We can do the same things. Line console 0, password Cisco, and we're gonna say login, right? Are you there? Are you there, guys? Yes. Now we're gonna go to our documents. Now we are where? E. From E, they want us to assign Cisco as the VTY password, and we have to enable login, right? Remember, the VTY, it's the remote access to the router, right? So we're gonna go to router 1, my first router. You exit first because you are in the wrong mode. Line VTY, we can give the access maybe to 4 guys. Line VTY 0 to 4, right? Password, we can keep like Cisco. And we're gonna say what? Login, right? So we're allowing 5 connectivities to the router. 0 to 4 means 5 people can access the router at the same time. The first login, it's gonna be line console, no, line VTY 0, line VTY 1, line VTY 2, 3, and 4. You are allowing 5 technicians to access remotely your router, right? And you press like enter. We're gonna go to the second router. We're gonna do the same. We exit first. Line VTY 0 to 4. Wait, what happened? 0 to 4, password, like Cisco, login. We can verify our configurations, do show run. When you go down, you can see your line VTY and you can see your line console, right? Any question? Hey, you know, guys, what we always say, when you use to give a mouse food, so it's going to follow you wherever you are. Eh? You know the story. Somebody's sending me a message just now because I'm recording. I don't want to say that message. Thanks. Yes. Ish, you're gonna remind me when I'm gonna finish. People are so. Okay, let's move forward. Now we are going to do what? Which question we are now? No, like F. We are going to encrypt what? The plain text password, right? From F, this one. They want us to encrypt what? The plain text password. Remember the plain text, guys? When you go to your router here, right? By saying, like, do show run, right? You can see like my passwords are visible, right? Like here, see, my console password, I can see it. This is plain text, right? Plain text means your password will be saved the way it was. the way you choose it without being encrypted, right? See here, your line V2I. Anybody can access your router. I can see your password because it's using the plain text. Now, we have to encrypt all the password, like inside our router. All the password needs to be encrypted, right? All the password that's gonna be like on your router will be encrypted. So this is the question here. They want you to encrypt the plain text password. And that command is what? Service password encryption. Right? So you go to your first router, you're gonna type like service password encryption. Right? You're gonna type service password encryption. Remember, guys, there are questions. They will ask you questions. Like an engineer wanted to encrypt like all his password. Which command will be best suited for this case? Service password encryption. When you type it once, this command will encrypt all your passwords. Right? You say yes, let's verify, do show run. You press enter. What did you see now, guys? See how your Cisco password changed. You see? See how your VTY changed. No service password. Right? Guys, so now somebody gonna access your router, your routers. Those people, they will see 0826. They will think like this is the password, but it's not the password. Right? You see how it's changed from Cisco to this new code. Right? Can we move forward, guys? Yeah. So I got the energy. Somebody gave me the energy. You can assume. Okay, we can go to the next router also. We can do the service password encryption. Service, so I'm gonna use the tab for me to go fast, right? You could turn the Solomon. Oh, he likes you. Yeah, you wanna chow, just give. Don't tell us, just go by. Just give. What is the problem? You wanna chow, what do you think? If somebody likes you, he likes you for what? For chowing, this is the end result. It's only chowing. This is the end result. There's nothing else that we are expecting from them. Okay, we're gonna go to create a banner that warns anyone accessing the device that unauthorized access is prohibited, right? So these questions means what, right? You have to leave a message to anybody who's gonna try to access your router, right? That message will start like popping up. Please, you are not allowed to access my device. You are not allowed to access this router, right? Because whoever will go, anybody who's going to access it is going to pay for it. Why? Because you left a message that warns that person to not access the device. He saw that message, but by himself, And remember that comment, it's the banner, right? So we're gonna say MOTD, right? You can put one of the symbol you want, and here you're gonna say, please. There are two different ways. You are not allowed to access this device, right? You understand? So the comment is what? It's banner, MOTD. You're gonna put one of the special character. Like me, I'm gonna choose 8. That character that's gonna come. That makes, you see, we are going to start with 8, and we are going to end with the same symbol that you started with. Right? So the message now that's gonna be displayed, so it's going to be this one. Please, you are not allowed to access this device. You're gonna put it like in the middle of your special character. Right? So don't start with 8 and you finish with something else. Now you're gonna press enter. Right? Now we're gonna go to the next router. Do the same. Right? Place. You are not allowed to access this device. But it doesn't matter the message that's gonna be between your special characters, right? So it doesn't matter. You can change the way you like, right? When I'm telling you to write those comments down, not writing, maybe you can memorize them. Remember here we are dealing with 2 routers. When I'm gonna give you my exercise will have 4 routers. Yeah. So by yourself, you will just answer everything because you know those commands already. Okay, let's go to like H. Save the running configuration to the startup configuration file, right? So what does it mean? The comment that we are typing now, the one that we are busy configuring, this is what we call running configurations, right? And you must be very careful. Running configurations, when there is a power cut, you are going to lose all your configurations. You need to save your running configurations to the startup configurations, right? This is what we're gonna do. We go to router number 1, right? Normally, guys, you have to go to the privilege mode. But if you wanna do it here, you have to start with do. You exit. Now from here, you're gonna say what? Copy, right? This time I'm gonna take the shortcuts because from the exam, most of the time they can give you a shortcut or the long one. Copy running, config, yeah. Startup. This is the full command. Guys, there is a question already. Which command you can use for saving your configurations? Copy, running, config, startup, config. What does it mean? You are instructing the router to take what you are busy typing now, the running configurations. You are telling the router, take what I'm typing now and save it where? save it to the startup configurations. This is what we are doing now, right? So you are taking from the volatile memory and you are saving it to the non-volatile, right? And you say yes, right? We're gonna go to the next router. We're gonna do the same. Those who are writing copy space running configuration, startup configurations, right? Or config. We're gonna go to the next router. Remember, guys, you can use that comment from here, from the wrong mode, but you're gonna start with what? Do copy, right? First, you exit, and you're gonna say like copy startup config, right? For every comment that you are typing, make sure that you are saving, right? Right? Are you done? Right? You press like enter twice. Right? These days I'm feeling tired. So I decided next year not working, sitting for 6 months. Next year myself, I said, no. I cannot study, guys. I want to take a break. 6 months, yeah. Just sitting at home. 1 month for drinking after drinking the whole month. I'm just going out. I'm tired, guys. I cannot even reach my goals because I'm tired. You see? I cannot even perform well. Huh? They're gonna kick me out now. You see, guys, because of this work is too much. Eish. Yeah. How are you gonna perform well? You are coming here the whole day. You go back, you are tired. You are thinking about your exams. You are thinking about the comments. You are thinking about, right? But there is someone who's waiting for you. You see? You cannot even. Now we're gonna go to, you know what? Yes, like today morning, I was feeling sorry for some of you guys. You go home, you cook, you're gonna be child. You have to keep the kids. You have to prepare your schoolwork, and you have to come here again the whole day. Yeah, like today by 5 a.m. I was thinking. I said, but some people, they are courage. How come they can do all those things? Yeah, I was thinking in the morning myself. I said, this is too much. It's too much. Yeah, you are right. I've been thinking this morning myself. I said, let me just keep quiet. These days, I want to talk like a lot. Yeah. That one is another work. It's more than even what you are doing. That one is finishing the energy. Okay, that one is consuming the energy. Now, step number 3. Oh, no, step number 3. We are done with step number 3. Now it's part number 2, right? Configure and verify single like areas OSPF version 2 for basic operation. Right? This is where we are now. There's no break. We have to finish one time. If you want a break, you can bring your tea there and we keep on going. So step number one, what we are going to do, we are going to configure the interface addresses and basics OSPF version 2 on each router. Remember, guys, we have 3 versions of OSPF. There is version 1, version 2, and version 3. Version 3, it's for IP version 6, but they want us to configure version 2. But before moving to OSPF, we have to finalize with what? The interfaces. We have to give those interfaces from routers the IP addresses as per our table. So we're going to use this one. From router 1, you are going to go to this interface. You are going to give it the IP, and you are going to assign what? The subnet mask. So let's do it. We're going to go to router 1. We're going to go to this interface, and we're going to give this IP and the subnet mask. This is what the question is talking about, right? So router 1, terminal, like interface 0/0/1, right? The IP address, we're gonna go to our table, we're gonna check the IP to what? 10.53.0.1, right? Where is it? Oh, I got so many things now. Oh, which route I've been using now? Ish. I have to close. Yeah. It's 10.53.0.1. The subnet mask .0, right? Yes. How come it's not working? And no shuts down, just to bring the interface up, right? Now, there is one more left. When you go to your document, from router 1, we have to configure what? We have to go to the virtual interface, loopback 1. This is the IP address of the loopback, the logical interface, and this is the subnet. Right? So we exit first. Interface, loopback 1, right? You have to precise it. Interface space loopback 1, right? Remember, it's a virtual interface, logical interface for management. Oh, myself, I forgot the R here. Right? And we are going to assign the IP address. I'm going to check it. It's what? 172.16.1.1, 255.255.255.0. Remember, guys, we are dealing with a virtual interface. There is no need to bring it on. Remember, by default, the loopback is already on. It's active. There is no need for you to say no shutdown. Right? When you wanna check the IPs, you can say what? Show IP protocols. Hey, I should start with do. Thank you. Do show why cannot show me. Okay, leave it. It's refusing. Okay, maybe I must be in global configuration mode. Okay, we can go to the second router. We can do the same. Right? What is the IPs? We are going to go to this interface. This is the IP, and this is the subnet mask. The interface, one, my IP is what? For this one, for router 2, okay, I can see it. The IP address, 10.53.0.2, 255, 255, 255.0. Right? No shutdown. We exit, like interface, loop back one. Remember when you go to your document, the loop back one for this one, it's 192.168.1.1. 168.1.1, the IP at the subnet mask. What's happened? I forgot number one. Interface loopback one. IP address. And we exit, right? We can say do show IP, the interface brief, right? Just to verify it's our configurations, right? Morning, do space, show space, IP space, interface space brief, right? You can see that you can learn about your IPs from your interfaces. This command will allow you to learn about some interfaces, right? You can see, huh? So sometimes when you wanna learn about your IPs from your interfaces, right? You can use this command, show space, IP space, interface space brief. Jonathan, you see this colon, this status colon means like you used the no shutdown. The port physically it's up. This protocol shows like you gave it an IP address. Yeah. Remember when you are here on this one, there is no IP. You see the status is what? It's down. You as a specialist, you know like, no, the physical port is down because the status, yeah. This protocol shows like there is no IP, right? So I think we are done now. We can move to the next question. What is the next question now? Okay, we are done with this one, huh? With A. So now we're gonna do what? B. enter OSPF router configurations mode using process ID 56. Right? Did you understand this question? You have to go like under router mode, right? The OSPF mode, the OSPF router mode, and your process ID must be which number? 56. Means what? You go to your router number 1. Right? So you're gonna say what? Which routing protocol? It's OSPF. Router OSPF, what is the process ID? 56. Right? And you're gonna press what? Enter. Right? Router space OSPF space 56. This is the meaning of the questions. Enter like OSPF router configuration mode, and you have to assign the process ID of 56. We can go to the next router. We can do the same. Router OSPF 56. Right? Okay. So you go to both routers, you do the same, right? So we are going to activate the OSPF process. Now, when you go here, right? We are done with B. Now we're gonna move with which question? C. We are going to configure like a static router ID for each router, right? So we are going to assign what we call router ID to every router. For router 1, so router ID will be 1.1.1. For router 2, 2.2.2.2. So we are here. So what we're gonna do now, we go to router 1, right? You must be like under OSPF router mode. This command is very easy. You just say router ID 1. Oh, which router is this one? Yeah, I don't want to make a mistake. Let me check again. Okay, it's the same router. Router ID 1.1.1.1. I'll show you later why there's a router ID and how we can use it, right? I'm done with this one. You're gonna go to the next router. The router ID, it's 2.2.2.2. The first router, it was 1.1.1. The second one, it's done. So for every router, we precise the process ID and we precise the router ID and the process. Now, guys, there's another question here. They want us to do what? Configure a network statement for the network between router 1 and router 2, placing it in area 0. What does it mean? You see the link between router 1 and router 2. This is a network, right? That network, we have to put it like under area 0, right? That network must be like under area 0. When you go here, you go to your table here, right? You can see router 1 is this port, right? This network here, it's this one, right? See, this is the network 10.53.0.0 because, right? So you're gonna go to router 1. You go again like to your terminal, right? Now what you're gonna say, network, which network? 10.53.1 or .0.0, right? This is the network. Remember, guys, see here. We are here, right? This is the IP address of this one, right? The IP address for this one is which one? Right? So the only difference is where? .1 and .2 means that their network is .0. Yeah. And remember, we're gonna take the wildcard mask 0.0.0.255, right? And you're gonna precise the area 0. How did I find this, right? It's like this. I'm gonna do it down there. Suppose like, okay, let's say your subnet mask, right? Your subnet mask is what? Like 255, right? Dot 255 dot again 255, like 255.z.0, right? Now, how can I find the wildcard mask that we are using for OSPF? So the wildcard, we call it this wildcard. Okay, let me say WC, right? How are we gonna find it? So I'm gonna take what? Minus 255. My Lord, I'm dying. What must I do now? No, I wanna do nicely. I wanna dot minus, you are doing minus. Dot. This is how you're gonna find it. Dot. This is how you're gonna find it. Now, 255 minus 255 is what? 0. You're gonna write here Z dot 255 minus 255. This one minus this one. This one minus this one. 255. It's 250. It's like 255 minus 0, right? It's 255. This is how you have to find the wildcard mask. When you know the subnet mask, you only remove what? 255.255.255.255. So this is how we did with this one. the way we got this one. Right? Now we are done with router 1. We're gonna go to router 2. Do the same things. Network, we're gonna add that network. Wildcard mask. Which area? 0. And you press what? Enter. No, we are configuring the OSPF, right? We are taking the neighbor routers. Which one is the neighbor? When you look at your topology here, your neighbor router is this one. Is this one. This network. Okay, let's go to the next question. If you are tired, you can just sleep, no problem. Just sleep, because we weren't gonna finish now. Even myself, I'm tired, but I have to finish. It's gonna finish by 1 maybe. Now we are here. What they are saying, on router 2, you have to add the configuration necessary to advertise the loopback 1 network into like OSPF area 0, right? You have to add the loopback network to this area. Same comment, you only change what? The IPs. Remember, the IP for the loopback is what? This one, right? But the network, you're gonna put there 0. So you're gonna do the same things that we did like previously, but you change the network, right? Yeah, we're gonna change. Yeah, remember the IP for the loopback. There it's 1. There it's 168. And there, no, instead of typing, I'm just bring it back. Because we have 2 networks. We have for the loopback and we have that one for router 2. Are you done? Oh, they said, I was not reading here. When we go down here, don't press enter. They said you must do it on router 2 only. Yeah, so this comment is only for router 2, not for router 1. So we have to remove it here. Doesn't concern the yeah. It's on router 2 that this comment must be done. It's only on router 2, not on router 1. The question was clear. Are you done? Now we're gonna check which question now. Where are we now? Okay, guys, we are here. Verify what? Verify OSPF version 2 is operational between routers. Issue the command to verify R1 and R2 have formed an agency. So we have to go to every router. We have to verify if those two routers, they can communicate. They can form what we call an agency, right? So we go to router 1, right? We can exit. We exit again. Show IP, OSPF neighbor. This command will allow you to learn about neighbor routers, right? So you are on router 1. You wanna see what happened, like between you and your neighbors, right? Show IP OSPF neighbor, right? This command will tell you how many routers they are connected like to you via OSPF. And you're gonna press what? Entered, right? You can see this column. This column showing you what? The network ID for the neighbor router. You remember the network ID was what? 2.2.2, right? Which address? Right? This is the address of that IP. And this is the interface. So it's showing you already like the agency is there. Now we're gonna go to router 2. We can do the same. We exit, show IP, OSPF neighbor, right? Are you there? So when you go to one of the router, you type this command, show IP OSPF neighbor, you will know which routers you already formed what we call like an agency, right? If there are 3 routers, you will see those 3 routers here, right? But you can see only this neighbor router, right? Now, there is one of the question here. This one, guys. Who can read it for me? Which router is identified as the designated router? And which one is the backup designated router? Remember, there are 2 routers. One router is the designated one. The other one is the backup router, right? You understand, guys? But if you go here, see the status, guys. Which one is the BDR? It's this one. The backup designated BDR is this router. Right? And when you come here, from router 1, remember from router 1, what have I done? From router 1, see here, the designated router was which one? Right? Why? Because this router has the highest ID, highest IP, right? When you have many routers, those routers will have their own router ID, right? The highest ID, the highest IP for that ID will be your designated router. That's why this router was chosen as a DR. Why? Because this router will have the highest IP when it comes to ID, right? Now we're gonna move to the next. Which question? Yeah, we are now here. On R1, issue the show IP routes OSPF command to verify that the R2 loopback one network is present, like in the routing table, right? So they said you must go to router 1 and you have to type show IP routes OSPF. This command, Calvin, will allow you to go to the database of the router and learn about the OSPF only, right? We're only learning about the OSPF. Show IP routes space OSPF, right? So when you want only to check the record, like inside your database, that concerns like only your OSPF, right? You can see the O here showing you the network that you've learned, right? But you can also say only show IP routes for the entire database. Show IP routes, you can see so many routes are there, right? So there's a difference between show IP routes, where you wanna learn about the entire database, and when you want to learn like only about the OSPF, show IP routes OSPF. You can do it also like on router 2, right? Show IP routes like OSPF. Why nothing is visible here? Doesn't give me the option to learn about. Okay, let me try. Yeah. There is something wrong on my side here. Oh, remember guys, we only configured like on router 2 only. Some of the comment, so we never did it on router 1. Okay, no problem. We can move now to the following questions. So our job is only to answer what they want us like to do. From H, what they want? They want us to ping the router 2 loop back 1, like interface address from router 1. The ping should be success, right? They said you must go to router 1. You have to ping the loop back 1 from router 2. No, the loop back 1 on router 2. Right? So you go to router 1. Right? You have to ping the loop back. Remember the loop back. The loop back here, it's which one? It's this one, right? The one we wanna ping. Hey, what's happened? There at the back. Why are you laughing? You are tired. You said you want money. 10%. So you can see that the ping is successful, right? So the success rate, 100%, right? We are far, we are not even 50% done. Now we're gonna move again. Now we are here. Optimize the single areas OSPF version 2 configurations. Right? Optimize the single areas OSPF version 2 configurations. Right? Step number 1, we are going to implement various optimizations on each router. On router 1, configure the interface OSPF priority to 50 to ensure that R1 is the designated router, right? So they want us like to go on router 1 to that specific interface. We have to change the OSPF priority to what? To 50. Right? So we're gonna go like on router 1. All right. Interface gigabit 0/0/1, right? IP OSPF priority 50. Done. This is the whole question. They said you must go to that particular router, go to this interface, configure the priority, the OSPF priority to 50. When we are done with this exercise, we are done with chapter 1, 2, and 3. Because everything, this is the lab. Yeah, that's why I have to finish like everything. But you have to know how to change the priority. And you press what? Enter. IP space OSPF space priority space 50. Now we're gonna go to our document. Configure the OSPF timers on the gigabit 0/0/1 of each router for hello timer of 30 seconds. So you go to that interface from every router, you configure the timer of 30 seconds. What does it mean? So after 30 seconds, every router will send the hello message. You can say, okay, after 30 message, you must ask if your neighbor is still like alive by saying hello after 30 seconds. You are trying to form neighbors. You are trying to become neighbors, right? So we're gonna go to router 1, right? We exit, which interface we want? Oh, the same interface, right? We are going like to configure OSPF, right? If you forgot, you can use the question mark. IP OSPF question mark. Those are the things that you can do. But what we are looking what? This one, the hello interval, right? How many seconds? 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds, this router will send like hello message to the neighbor router. IP OSPF. When you are done, you go to the next router, you do the same. Like interface, IP OSPF, like hello, like interval 30. And you press enter, right? What happened? You go to this, what is the router? Let's say this is the router, right? You go to that cable where you're gonna plug. You say, okay, after 30 seconds, send the hello message to that other router. Right? IP space, OSPF, hello interval, 30. Yes, now we're gonna move. Why are you pinging? Which one are you checking? You are doing your own thing, so you're following. This part, they want just to teach you how to change like the priority, how to change like the timer. This is what they are showing you here. They don't want you to ping. They don't care about the pinging, Jonathan. They want you to learn how to configure the priority, how to configure the timer, right? Pinging what? Okay, C now. What is C? Hey, we are almost done, guys. Hey, but it's very long, guys. Let's just carry on. I know. Where is C now? On router 1, configure a default static route that uses the interface loopback 1 as the exit interface. Then propagate the default route into OSPF. Note the console message after setting the default route. Right? So on router 1, so we are going to go on router 1. We configure a default static route. So you go on router 1, you configure the default static route by using which exit interface? The incoming port must be the loopback 1, right? So this is what we're gonna do now. It's on which router? 1. So we exit IP routes. We are talking about default, right? 0.0.0.0, subnet mask 0.0.0.0, right? The exit interface, it's loopback. Loopback 1. We are configuring the default routes. Yes, and we're gonna say router OSPF 56 default. Yeah, I know that you are tired, so I have to. Yes. Now, and we're gonna split it in 2 parts. So this first part is done, but you have to remember, guys, how to set like the priority, how to verify your routing table, how to verify your OSPF, if it's running, how to change your timers. Those are the few things they wanted just to show you how the command looks like, right? So we are going to stop here, and next time we are going to go for the second part.